Welcome to the Finding the Magic podcast, where books come alive. I'm Tricia Copeland, a fiction author and host of this show. If you love books, finding great reads, and hearing about the story behind the story directly from the authors, this is the place for you. Whether you like fantasy, science fiction, dystopian, or romance titles, I think you'll find something to love in my playlist. Listen in to discover something magical about a book or two today. Hi, Deborah.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Very well. I'm sitting here in Vancouver and it's been a beautiful day, so this is a great ending to it.
Awesome. Today we have Deborah Wilde. She is an urban fantasy author, primarily YA or adult?
No, adult.
Adult. Okay.
Yeah.
Adult urban fantasy author. I looked at some of your titles and cannot remember the names now. So, where would you like to start? I saw a lot of books published. So, you can start at the beginning or you can start with like your most recent, whichever you'd like.
Well, we could start at the beginning. It's funny when you asked if it's YA or adult because previous to this pen name, I had a pen name that was Tallulah Darling that was just YA. It wasn't urban fantasy, it was YA. There was some magic in it. But then when I decided to write this particular pen name in 2017, I started with a heroine who was 20. So I was sort of edging out of the YA into adult. It's very spicy. It's probably my spiciest series of all of them. But I started her because the thing I loved about writing a 20-year-old is I could start her as a complete hot mess and have a lot of growth and pain to put her through by the end of those 7 books. So, and then I kind of kept sort of jumping ahead. So that was the first series, the Unlikable Demon Hunter books. Then I did the Jezebel Files, and she was 28 and very cynical. It was very more film noir. Then I jumped to my Magic After Midlife, which had a heroine in her 40s, which was a joy to write, and that's actually what I'm returning to now. And then I wrote another series, The Bedeviled AF, which had a heroine who was 30, but I've gone back to a heroine in her 40s because I just love writing women with experience and scars and, smarts.
Fun. That's really interesting because I just finished reading and I can't believe I didn't read this before. I tried it like 2 times before, but the book club, Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying a Vampire, I just finished that. Have you read that before?
I think I did. If I haven't read it, I know the title because it's such a great title. Like it really
Yeah.
stuck with me.
And
Maybe
I'm
I'll.
from the South and I love vampires. And so I tried to read it like 2 times before this and just like didn't jump in fast enough or it didn't catch me fast enough. And this time I was like, okay, I have the audiobook. I'm going to do it. And I loved it. I turned out to love it. But those are, like you said, they're older characters, they're moms, they're doing the carpools, they're baking the cookies, and then they have this vampire to slay.
Yes, I think I did read it because that's sounding very familiar. Yeah.
Well, fun, fun. So, and now I already forgot all the names of your series. Why don't you, the 20 something series, we'll start with that one.
Okay. So that series it's called the Navacat series because that's her name, but everyone calls it the Unlikable Demon Hunter because every title has Unlikable Demon Hunter in the title. And that one started for me because I had been reading a lot of articles at the time about how male characters could be complex and unlikable. Like you had Tony Soprano, you had Dexter, you had, all these male characters, and female characters had to be likable. And my head was exploding at the time from the number of articles I kept coming across. And I just went, nope, I
This is
reject
not
that.
fair.
This is not fair. So I'm going to have a character who she is likable, but not by any kind of, I don't know, puritanical is not the right word, but sort of conscripted mores of what likability in a female character is. But she's determined and she's loyal and she has a lot of wonderful characters. It's just she's complex and she's nuanced and and she's a bit of a disaster because she's 20. But like I said, it gave me a lot of growth that I could do with her. So it was a lot of fun. And so every book is structured around one of the 7 deadly sins. And so I actually took a page out of the writing room of Buffy for this because I remember hearing them talking about how they would try to find the greatest, like whatever the biggest humiliation that a teenager might face, and then what was the monster that embodied that. And that really stuck with me, and I really love that. So I tried to figure out, well, what is the demon that embodies this particular sin that I'm exploring in this book, and then how does it relate to Nava in
Oh,
each book?
that's okay. So that's a finished 7 book series,
Yes.
which, that's the seven deadly sins gave you that like closure of, okay, this is going to end here, right? That sounds super cool. So the unlikable, it's decided sort of turn unlikable demon series. And does she grow and
Yeah.
progress in age
Oh
during the
yeah.
series?
Oh,
Okay.
no, I mean she turns 21, so it's like,
Oh, okay. So, oh,
just under
wow.
a
So
year.
she
It's
has.
not a huge amount of time that passes, but it's a huge amount of growth.
Oh, I was
And
gonna say, and she has 7 whole demons to slay in a year.
oh
So,
yeah, oh yeah. She's part of a she ends up it all starts with, and this has never happened to me before, but this opening scene just sort of came to me fully formed, where she comes home and she's forgotten that her twin brother, who's been training his whole life to join this all-male brotherhood of like secret society demon hunters, it's his initiation, and she's forgotten, and she crashes the initiation, and they go to do have, the ritual and the ring, and whoops, it goes on her hand instead of his, and they discover they've been training the wrong twin the whole time.
oh, interesting. Is he really pissed?
Yes. Yes.
I
So
think he would
there's
be pissed off.
yes. So there's a lot for her to repair because he is the most important person in her life.
I can
So
imagine.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
so her whole plan is get him initiated and get herself out of this situation to
uh
begin with. To begin with.
yeah, yeah. So was she pissed too? Like, did she want to do this at
No, oh no, no, no.
all?
She's very carefully, she had a dream that blew up, and she's very carefully curated her life to not have any dreams or any kind of responsibilities. And yes, so this crashes all her careful plans.
Yeah, that can happen at age 20. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I crashed and burned around that age. So I can relate to that one.
Yes, I'm very glad my crashing and burning was not, memorialized on social media for all time.
Yeah, that would have been another layer, right? Just
Yeah,
pile it on there, pile on the shame,
right. Yeah.
pile on the failure. So does she have any special abilities or does she
Yes.
gain any special
Yes,
abilities?
she gains magic abilities. So
Okay.
all of my heroines, whether whether magic is hidden or known, because I kind of switch between the two depending on the series, they tend to gain magic in the first book. Uh, the new series I'm writing is actually the first one where she has her magic. She's had magic for 5 years already, because it's based. Her magic is and her friend's magic are based on perimenopausal symptoms. So I wanted to explore having fun with magic rooted in perimenopause.
Very cool. Well, so your different series aren't really all in the same world, then they have a little
No,
bit different
no,
worlds.
no. They're all
Okay.
different. So they're all mostly set in Vancouver because I I joke that I'm like I have nothing to contribute to more stories about New York or New Orleans or London or and also I love showing off my hometown, and I love finding ways to infuse magic into my hometown. Plus, I'm also not the most visual thinker, so it's very convenient for me to get in my car and go drive somewhere and look at it and take photographs of it to be able to describe it later, so that really helps me. So yes, they're all set in Vancouver, but they're all very different versions of Vancouver, in terms of they have very different magic systems. There's no connection whatsoever between the series.
Oh, cool. And
Yeah.
how many series do you have now?
I have four complete series, which is 25 books, and I'm just writing the first book of a new series now.
That's so cool. And so that's a lot of different magic systems to come up with too.
Yeah, four different magic systems. It
Do
is,
you
yes,
worry about running out of ideas for those or
constantly, constantly. Yeah. Yeah, I have friends who write in the same universe and they're like they worry about, doing the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, to me, that sounds really great, like knowing you can go back to that. But I can't. I find by the time I get to the end of the series, I'm really done. And I need that fresh and shiny, except with the fresh and shiny comes the, oh no, what have I gotten myself into here? Yeah.
With all your series, do you plan them out in like, well, it seems like with the Seven Deadly Sins, Unlockable Demon Hunter, when you had that planned out, so the View Seven. On the rest, do you plan them out? So you like one it with my series, I accidentally had like a rule, and I was like, oh wait, I want to break that rule to yeah, kill the antagonist. And I was like, but I can't break that rule. So I had to be creative about how I was going to get rid of my antagonist. So do you find that coming up or do you have them planned out?
I don't have them planned out. I think, well, that's not exactly fair. I have them vaguely planned out. So I tend to know with each of my books, there's a plot that is the main mystery or the main demon to hunt down or whatever it is they're doing, and that wraps up in each book. And I have no idea what those are across series. I also have no idea how many books are going to be in a series. I always go in going, there's going to be 10, and then I'll be like, and then no, there's three, and then there's seven. Like it's just all over the place. Um, but what I do know, I mean, there's two sort of secondary plots that span the series as opposed to the sort of wrapped up in each book. And one is the romance. So obviously they have to end up together. But the other is there's always something personal to the heroine that they're trying to, like some kind of mystery or something they're trying to sort out. So I know where that has to end up. I don't necessarily know how I'm going to get there.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of I write my books a little bit that way too. So fun. That's fun that there's always that romance portion because I always like those, and I think most, at least most women readers, I'll say that I talk to, but that's kind of life, right? We fall in love, we fall out of love,
Exactly.
we are looking for that special partner to spend our lives with. So
Exactly.
fun. And do you usually write in first person, or what is your
Yeah.
point of view?
Yeah, it's all first person because all my books are very humorous. So for me, first person is the way to sort of be in that zone. Yeah.
Fun. So we have humor, we have spice, we have breaking the rules women, maybe a little
Yes.
bit,
Yeah.
um, being off the norm scale. That and instead of I have never been to Vancouver. It's on my bucket list, so I it seems like a fun world to live in.
It's a beautiful city. It's, again, in term along with, uh-oh, how am I gonna find something new to do magic wise? I didn't start out thinking, oh, part of my brand is gonna be that I'm gonna set all my books in Vancouver. Like I just set the first one in Vancouver because it was my town and I was here. But then people started writing me and they're like, oh, I love that I came to Vancouver and I visited XYZ. And I'm like, that's really cool. So let's do that again. And then it was like, okay, now it's a thing. So it's
So-
it's finding all the original ways to infuse magic in cool ways into Vancouver. Yeah.
well, you could start your own magic tour of the
I know.
Deborah Wilde tour of Vancouver. If I come there, I want to do that.
You got it. We'll do it.
So tell me about your newest series, then. What is the premise of that? Who are the characters?
The completed newest series?
The one you just started, you said you only have one book
Oh,
out
okay.
for.
So it's called Gollum for Broke,
Okay.
and it's the series is Mad Queens Inc. and it's about a woman who runs essentially a magic fixer agency with her four friends. And she's in book one, she's attacked by a golem, and that just sort of takes her into proximity with the city's only golem maker, and all the events unfold from there. And so you get to see all the dangerous players. You get to see one thing that was I really wanted to explore in this book. I mean, all my series have strong female friendships, but what has become so much like they've just become so much more important to me since COVID, just this connection and, and most of my friends don't live here. So, it's how we make sure to keep making the time for each other and keep connecting. So I really wanted to have those friendships with her three best friends who she runs the agency with at the heart of all of this and really understand that like this is her family and this is what's on the line if she loses it.
Oh, those are great values and great I guess themes for those some of my favorite themes. I'm going on this is like my 20-year anniversary this year with all my friends that
Oh,
I moved to a new town and we're like, okay, we have to do something for 20 years. So
oh, that's
yeah.
amazing. So are you going somewhere special?
We haven't planned it yet. We have to plan
Oh,
it.
okay.
But yeah. Okay, so golems. Tell me what a golem is.
So a golem, so there's a Jewish myth where a rabbi created a golem to save the citizens, the Jewish citizens of Prague, and it was a clay man, and he animated it by writing the word emet in Hebrew, which is truth, on it. And the way to stop it was to scratch out the first letter, which was aleph, turning emet to met, which is death. And so, because I'm Jewish, that was another thing I wanted to explore in my books because when I was growing up, the only time I saw myself reflected in pages was in Holocaust stories. And, those are very important books, but I really just wanted to see a Jewish girl like going through the closet into Narnia or going down the rabbit hole to, Wonderland. So when I decided to start writing urban fantasy, I made a very conscious decision. I wanted my heroines and their love interests to be Jewish. I wanted to draw my magic systems from Judaism and Jewish mythology and get to explore and get to research. And I mean, I'm a very secular Jew, but it's been really wonderful for me to get to research this and find cool ideas to bring in. So yeah, so that's golems have shown up in other series, but uh, yeah, this is the one that really I think they're going to be the most prevalent in this world.
Fun. And okay, so they're a magic fixing agency. Do they fix magic in other people, or do they fix magic in things, or do they stop magic, or
Oh
how
no,
is
so
that working?
it's more like fixers like in terms of they fix problems. So
Okay,
they have
using
magic and
magic.
so
Okay,
using magic, yeah. So
okay.
actually what they call themselves, because she's actually inherited this business from her aunt. And they call themselves balabustas, which is a Yiddish word for it was a label for the professional homemaker, the woman of the house, and who was really like the queen of the house, and she ruled everything in the shtetls. This is where it started off, like in Eastern Europe, way back. And then when they came to the New World, a lot of these women became like union organizers and ran small businesses and really made things better. So they made things better in the house and then they made things better in the community. And so that's how they see themselves. They're these fixers, but they're balabustas. There's no problem they won't take on. So it's not always magic, but for the sake of my book, the A plots involve magic.
Right. And is their magic inherited, or is how does that work in this series?
So in this series in particular, so chai is the Hebrew word for life. And so what I have in this book is that it's the animating raw spark, which I think is actually I don't remember where that concept comes from, but it's sort of the animating raw spark, and it's in everybody. And for some people, like Jewish, non-Jewish, it doesn't matter. Magic's never just restricted to the Jewish community in my books. But depending on, for some people, when they go through very profound periods of development and change, some of them, that spark turns into something more and it turns into magic. And then they're known as highborn. And so for most people, it happens while they're teenagers because that's such a volatile time. And so you get a lot of shifters during that. Their magic manifests as shifters or invisibility magic or chaos magic and for some people it doesn't happen at all. You get in elderly people, you might get necromancers because that's sort of what they're struggling with there. And so for Tova and her friends, it happens that their magic is based in perimenopause, but they're kind of seen as light or cute versions of like the real people with that magic. So my main character has hot flash magic, but she can't do as much as a regular fire elemental would do. So again, they're underestimated. So it's again something to play with and thematically play with.
Right. Yeah, that is a big change. I mean, going from, I don't know, mine was really early, but going from age 40 to 50, it's too, depending on whether you have kids or I feel like just maturing in yourself. Like at age 40, I was like, oh, I'm 40. And I was like, I'm really growing into myself at 50. I was like, I don't give a blank what people think of me anymore. I'm just doing me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I love those themes because it really fits in with my show, Finding the Magic. So people are finding magic in themselves, I guess.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, finding those ways to find the magic in yourself. Yes.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm just like getting all the good feels from this. And so
Thank you so much.
yeah, and are all your books the same spice level or are they pretty
No.
consistent?
They're all spicy. So they all,
Oh,
even if they're slow burn and maybe it takes two or three books, they all get to being spicy. Nava's books, the Unlikable Demon Hunter ones, are by far like hit the ground running, book one, the most spicy all the way through. My next series, maybe a little less spicy, but still pretty spicy. My third series, which was the first heroine who's in her 40s, it's slow burn, just because I was burned out from writing super spicy. So I'm like, I need a couple books. Everyone's like, you better not disappoint us and have, just because she's in her 40s, she's still, and I'm like, yes, 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 I promise you. So it got spicy by book three, and then everybody was happy. And then my fourth series with my heroine who's 30, it's a second chance romance. So
oh,
again,
fun.
it made sense to have it be a bit more of a slow burn and just I don't remember if it was book two or three. There's only five books in that series. So yeah, and this one again, it'll be book two or three. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool that you have those whole age ranges from 20 to 40, 40 plus 50, so that you can, I mean, they're different characters, but as people go through those stages of life and one series may appeal to a reader versus another series. And I like looking back to 20-year-olds and thinking,
Yeah.
my alternate life, my alternate ego.
And it's funny
Relive
because
that a little bit.
I'll have readers reach out and they're like, "Where's the heroine in her 60s or her 70s?" And I'm like, "I don't feel qualified to write that yet."
I
Um,
know. So what's next? Remind me the name of this new series.
the new series is called Mad Queens Inc. and the book is called Gollum for Broke, and it's going to be
Oh,
out in October.
ooh, October. So
Yeah.
yeah, so just a few months away. And do you have the next one in the works, or how far out do you plan?
This one, I've actually never gotten to this stage. Like I'm deep in editing with my editor right now, and I do not have the book two yet, which has never happened before. But I think as we know, the past little while has been challenging. So it's been hard to be funny and creative on the same schedule I have been in the past. And I think as well, I've been trying to do other things too, like put out a whole bunch of German translations of my books, and so other projects that I've tried to be slotting in. But I've told myself that I have until the end of this month to get everything else off my plate, and then May it's like buckle down, focus, and figure out book two. So
Well, there may be some brainstorming involved there,
oh
something
yeah.
just like
Yeah, I plan to actually make I made my husband leave his job and come work with me. So he runs my Shopify store so I can sell direct. But he used to be a filmmaker, so I'm sure he's already bracing himself that I'm gonna make him sit down and brainstorm with me.
I was gonna say, how did that happen? I can't even get to my husband to talk about books at all. So like
Well, I had been in Kindle Unlimited, which is where you're exclusive to Amazon and you're in the subscription program. And it was not, and it was a great ride. Like I was very lucky. Like my first book, I hit the bestsellers, I got the all-star bonuses. I was very lucky. But by the time 2021 came around, it was not. doing good things for my mental health to be obsessively checking rank and seeing, is my book sticky? What are and I decided I needed to go wide. I just couldn't do this anymore. And so I went wide in 2022 and wanted to add in selling direct because I'm like, there's this amazing opportunity where I can just connect directly with my readers. But there was no way I could take this on myself. And my husband, he worked in post-production in film and television for years. And I think he was getting tired of being in a dark room. So I lured him out and I said, you won't have to work in a dark room. And we
I'll give
figured
you a
nobody,
window, sweetie.
yeah, here, you can sit by the window. And nobody else was going to care about this business as much as he would anyway, so it just made a lot of sense. And he had enough technical knowledge to come and do it and get us into trouble and then figure it all out after
Fun.
and rebuild and rebuild and rebuild the story. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you also offer audiobook formats?
Yes, so all my books are in ebook, audiobook, and paperback. Yes. Yes. And
Yay. I love
my
audiobooks
narrators
too.
are fantastic. I love my narrators. And I have a new narrator for this one, so I'm very excited to be working with a new narrator on my new series.
Oh, fun, fun. That's awesome. I love audiobooks. So big check for me there.
Excellent.
Yeah, I had the same thing like last year. I finished a series and it was great that I finished it because I needed to finish it and they have their happily ever after and there was a lot of drama, so it was very emotional. But now I'm like, well, I finished that. Now what do I do? So I'm like trying not to force it, but thinking, I really need to do this.
Right? Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It's really that balancing act of trying not to force it, but right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jump out. I know I get the pen name thing because I jump back and forth between YA and romance too. So I
Okay.
have a different pen name. But
Okay.
so I did jump into my romance, but now I'm like, I do need to jump back to fantasy because somebody's gonna be pinging me like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't think I could juggle two. I can't even juggle writing two different series at once. Like my brain just doesn't. So I have a lot of admiration for people who can juggle pen names because I'm just like, that is not happening. It's just this one and that's it.
Well, it's not at once. I write my fantasy and then I write the romance, and then I write fantasy and then I write romance. So I'm kind of, 6 months and 6 months or a year and a year.
Okay.
And so switch back and forth because no, I could not do two at once. My fantasy would be all wrapped up in romance, which may not be too bad. So who knows with the romanticy craze.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talked about Dexter in the beginning because I have this one friend and all she watched was shows like Dexter, House, all of those I mean, Dexter is pretty dark and she was very dark. And so we go on a trip this year and she's like, "Oh no, I'm reading romantasy now." And I was like, "What? Like, who are you right now?" I'm like, "But it's the ultimate escape. It's romance and fantasy. Like you get like both of the escapes in one." So I was like,
And I
okay,
think
maybe
some
I get it.
romanticy is dark, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
yeah,
all.
there are dark
Yeah.
romantasies. Yes,
Yeah.
true. And I don't know which ones you're reading, right? I didn't ask that question. She could be reading the darkest of the romantasy and it would make more complete sense for her.
Right.
But yeah,
Right.
yeah, I need to ask that question. It would make more sense. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I just think of my like little clean romantasies that I usually read. So anyway. Well, tell everyone where we can find you and your books.
Okay, so the best place to find me is to come to my store, which is deborahwildebooks.com. And because I offer early releases and bundle discounts and everything that I do not do on the other retailers. But if you have a favorite retailer of choice, I am on Amazon, I'm on Kobo, Barnes and Noble, Apple, Google Play, all the big retailers. And again, I am in ebook, audiobook, and paperback. So pick your format.
Super fun. And what is your website besides your shopping website?
If you want to come just learn more about me as an author and all my general links, it's just deborahwilde.com.
DeborahWilde.com. Thank
Yes.
you so much for being
Thank you
here.
very much.
Um, Next release October of 2026, but
Yes.
huge back list,
Liz?
not backlist. It's pretty current, so we won't say that. But Deborah Wilde, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you'll come back when you release your next book.
Thank you. I would love to.
Bye.